Hey everyone, Logan Stout. Welcome to this week's Stout Advice. Great words submitted this week to my website, loganstout.com, and that is the word fear. Fear. It's interesting. Fear is normally seen as a bad thing. It can sometimes be seen as a good thing, but usually it's seen as a bad thing. And when I think about the word fear, for me personally, the first thing I think of is fear not. Right? Or the only thing you should fear is, right? And so those are the things I think of. But here's what I want to encourage you with. Usually fear is the old acronym, false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. And what that simply means is this: usually there's really nothing to fear. We just create it. We muster it up in our own mind, right? Maybe there's a breakdown in communication. Maybe you texted somebody and they haven't texted you back. So you start thinking of all these worst case scenarios in your mind. Or how about this, remember this phone call here, or the message or the text or the email? We need to talk. Anytime I get that text, I'm guilty of this. I'm like, oh God, what happened, right? What's the deal? What is it? You know? And so we create this fear. And it's so funny. A lot of my teammates, my employees, I call them teammates, Jerry Valdez, president of baseball operations at the Dallas Patriots, you know, he'll text me, hey man, we need to talk. And then he'll always, now he knows, because he knows he'll go, it's not a bad thing. That'll be his next text immediately. I go, okay, good, right? But we're all guilty of these fearful mindsets. And here's what I want you to understand. You have nothing to fear, right? You have nothing to fear, right? As long as you know where you're going and you rest assured on that, you have nothing to fear. I mean, good things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen, but you don't need to be afraid of them, because when you get a fearful mindset, what we typically do is we don't respond accordingly. When you respond out of fear, that's not a good thing, right? And you start thinking all these worst case scenarios. So action item number one, I want you to think back like I just did, of examples in your life where you feared the worst, and therefore you stressed yourself out, you worried like crazy, and it created some false evidence appearing real. Then action item number two, what I'd like for you to do is this. I'd like for you to really focus on every time one of those situations occur again, here's what I want you to remember. The greatest way in the world to waste time is to worry, to compare yourself to others, and to assume. If you want to waste time, do those three things: worry, compare yourself to others, and assume. I promise you those will create a fearful mindset in your mind, which will create stress, which will not be a good outcome, okay? Look, I love you. Let's live a joyous, fearless life. Let's have fun in life. And obviously when things happen, instead of being fearful, just understand things are going to happen. Transitions are going to happen in life. It's how we respond to those transitions that ultimately lead to the outcome, okay? You guys have a great week. I'll see you next week on Stout Advice.